Series pregame show on Fox, powered by MLB Network. Adam Wainwright and the Cardinals hoping to get this thing back to Boston with an advantage on Wednesday for Game 6. 4 starts this postseason. He's been terrific as Dustin Pedroia and company look to settle in for Game 5 tonight.
I'm looking for a terrific game. I mean, it's going to be a pitcher's duel, I think, more so than what we've even seen so far.
Well, let's get right to the predictions, though. What's my copy of Jimmy's Jam say tomorrow morning?
Tomorrow morning, Jimmy's Jams is going to say, Lester leads the way. Plain and simple, he's a left-handed pitcher, and the Cardinals have a tendency to struggle against left-handed pitchers. You can expect him to be on. It's not going to be Lester-gate. It's going to be Lester getting the win.
Well, I agree with you, Jimmy. One ace is going to pitch well, but it's going to be the other guy. Wayne rights the ship.
That's
right
so
here.
Clever. It's amazing.
What a wordplay. I mean, that education I have is paying off right now. But here's the thing. Adam Wainwright will not pitch as bad as he did in Boston. The defense will not be as bad. Wainwright, he's going to be great.
I try to get a little more creative than AJ. I'm on the same team, but Cards shuffle the deck.
Ooh.
You like that? Oh yeah.
You can use the pun like me.
That's some good material right there. Actually, Matt, I got to thank you for that one. You gave me that line. Right?
Can we all agree that it's going to be low scoring? I mean, the series has been low scoring.
Yeah.
Do we see that again tonight?
I definitely think so. I don't think any team expects to go out there and score 5-6 runs, but to play a fundamentally sound baseball games because every run is going to count. It always does, but definitely tonight.
All these games have been close, obviously, except for the first game. We got a little bit away from the Cardinals. These games are all going to be close, and I guarantee you this, there's probably going to be something we've never seen happen in this game because we're going to go 7. I have a feeling we're going 7.
Look, for the best teams in baseball, they've played terrible ball so far. Hopefully we get a great baseball game that it doesn't come down to historical finish because a guy got picked off or something like that.
Is there anything to this? The Cardinals have a 13-2 series record and a best-of-7 when it's 5-5. When it's 2-2, rather, probably not. Time to send it down to the PA announcer, John Hewlett.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your caps for our national anthem. Performing tonight is Grammy and Emmy award-winning singer, actor, and the newest judge on American Idol. Please welcome Harry Connick Jr.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
It's back to the staff. Welcome to World Series game number 5. These fans are ready. And in this matchup between the Boston Red Sox and the St. Louis Cardinals, we're even at 2 games apiece. And now welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Joe Buck. Tim McCarver is coming right up. Well, now it's 2 crazy endings in a row. No World Series game had ever ended on an obstruction call. We got that in Game 3. No World Series had ever ended on a pickoff. We got that last night. So maybe order is restored here tonight. We'll find out. Because of the rotations, now we're back to the top. And that means a rematch of game number 1, my friend, and that is Adam Wainwright, a guy who's trying to pitch better than he did in that start at Fenway Park, and it's John Lester who's trying to just continue doing what he was doing in game 1.
Boy, is that true, and Red Sox fans hopeful that that will happen because he had a dazzling display of power, accuracy, and movement in game 1. This gives you an idea. The cutter outside, the cutter ball. So a dazzling display. I think that's worth repeating, because if the Red Sox and Leicester get that tonight, it's going to be a long night for the Cardinal hitters.
On the other side, Adam Wainwright is making his 5th career postseason start here at home. He has never lost in the home whites. So there's your matchup. John Lester, Adam Wainwright. Who gets the edge going back to Boston? Game 5 comes up now. There's nothing like an ace, the pitcher you count on for a win when your team needs it the most. For the Red Sox, it's John Lester. A winner in the series opener, the left-hander has been brilliant this postseason. The Cardinals staff is led by Adam Wainwright, who after an uncharacteristic start in Game 1 is looking for redemption. Only one can walk away victorious. It's ace versus ace. It's Game 5. Almost literally through 4 games, and now on a 61-degree night. It's warmer tonight than it's been at any other point during this World Series. Adam Wainwright about to take the field, undefeated here at home. The Game 1 starter and loser matched up again against John Lester, the Game 1 starter and winner. The World Series on Fox is sponsored by MasterCard, preferred card of Major League Baseball since 1997. As Wainwright goes out there, he will have a little more thunder behind him in the lineup than he anticipated coming to the ballpark. First, we'll give you the Boston Red Sox lineup. It's brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. Jacoby Ellsbury leads it off in center. Dustin Pedroia bats second. David Ortiz slips up to the number 3 spot. Then it's Johnny Gomes, a hero last night. Daniel Nava in right. Xander Bogaerts, Stephen Drew, David Ross back-to-back starts, and John Lester has not given up a World Series run in 13 1/3 innings pitched. And our director Bill Webb was thinking along with me when I was talking about more thunder behind Adam Wainwright than he anticipated coming to the ballpark tonight, because Alan Craig is the surprise starter at first base. Meanwhile, Adam Wainwright, this postseason 2-2. He's pitched well. His only poor start, really, and it wasn't awful, but not typical Adam Wainwright, was in Game 1.
He was having problems pitching downhill. That's what a guy 6'7", he often will have that problem early. First inning problems. He was a closer 6 years ago. In fact, in 2006, he closed out, and the Cardinals won the pennant and the World Series against Detroit. His pitches were unusually high, particularly with the fastball. He'll try to corral that tonight.
There's Alan Craig, who was added to the lineup late. For a report on that, let's go down to Ken Rosendahl.
Joe, Alan Craig was on the field 4 hours before game time, taking ground balls at first base. Checked out well enough. He was moving somewhat gingerly, but Mike Matheny told us that he was pointing toward this game. He wanted to start against the left-hander, John Lester.
Well, he didn't run well at all last night when he got a base hit as a pinch hitter, but he's in there tonight. The opening pitch brought to you by Budweiser, which is brewed right down the street. Great times are waiting. Grab some Buds. And a reminder that for coverage of this game in Spanish, please tune into Fox Deportes. Here are the Ford keys for both teams here tonight.
I mean, it's pretty easy. The team that goes to Boston with a 3-2 lead will have an advantage.
Good job. That was awesome.
Award-winning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
The two managers, John Farrell, Mike Matheny, and here's Jacoby Ellsbury. 3 hits in this series, and the fans on their feet.
I wonder if the Boston Red Sox will take advantage of Alan Craig at first base, because defense is going to be the real liability for Craig tonight.
Ellsbury is a guy who can certainly drop one down. Realize that the first 9 hitters and 13 of the first 14 batters against Adam Wainwright in Game 1 took the first 2 pitches. They got his pitch count up, and Wainwright lasted only 5. Here's a 1-0 pitch.
with the fastball, the first 2 pitches. A bit of concern early.
After 2 pitches, you're going there.
No. Well, I mean, that was his problem in the first inning of game 1. Yeah.
Here's a 2-0 pitch. Order is restored. He's into the strike zone. It's 2-1. I mean, it's your last year. If I can't needle you now, I can.
Oh, that's fine.
I can never needle you.
Yep. You don't do it as much on the air as you do off.
Right. It's more fun off. Here's the 2-1. Fouled back, 2-2. This is a Boston lineup that's hitting just .233 during this postseason. And they have been led in this World Series by Ortiz hitting .727. While the rest of the Sox are hitting .138.
That's amazing, isn't it?
He's just carried him. Here comes a 2-2 from Wainwright. 1 away.
Think about this at bat as Ellsbury takes the cut fastball on the outside part of the plate. The first 2 pitches were high balls. He adjusted and threw 3 straight strikes.
And speaking of adjustments, Adam Wainwright said that he had a mechanical flaw after his game 1 start. There's a strike to Pedroia, who's in the number 2 spot tonight for the first time in this series. But the Red Sox tonight are playing again without Shane Victorino. So it has jumbled John Farrell's lineup just a bit. Victorino is available tonight. That's strike 2. Talking about the adjustments that Wainwright made and asking his manager Mike Matheny, he said their adjustments by this point are so minute, it's more feel. Wainwright felt better coming into this start than he did game 1. And that's down into left field and headed for the corner. Dustin Pedroia on an 0-2 pitch has got a 1-out double.
A lot of people confuse control. Control is throwing a ball when you want to, instead of a breaking ball in the middle of the plate. It's a strike, but it's not in the right position. An 0-2 hanging curveball, double Pedroia.
That back knee of Pedroia goes down and he just launches into a pitch. Speaking of, here's a guy who, coming into the 3 games here in St. Louis, the National League City, was asked, well, how many games will he start at first base? Wainwright deals, and it's hit hard and fair. Past first, he's got another hit. He's got an RBI, and he's got a double as David Ortiz has put the Red Sox on top here in the first.
Over a third of the hits the Red Sox have in this World Series obtained by David Ortiz. A double, an RBI on the first pitch. We have noticed that he is swinging at a lot of first balls. Wainwright right after him. 1-0 Red Sox.
He's 9 for 12. And no chance for Alan Craig. Doesn't matter who was at first base. That ball was ripped. And now runner at second, 1 out for Johnny Gomes, who was the hero last night. And he takes up an in ball 1. But to go back to Ortiz, with all the talk about no DH, John Farrell was leaning toward and was willing to say, well, probably 2 games. Not now. Not the way he's swinging the bat.
No.
If he was on crutches, they'd let him go up to the plate and hobble down the first. He is as locked in as any hitter we've seen in October in a long time. And now he's reached base in 8 straight plate appearances. The record in the World Series is 9. He's at second with 1 out and a 1-1 count. Johnny Gomes was 0 for 9 before his 3-run shot last night in the 6th. Now he is backed up in the count, 1-2. Nava back in the number 5 spot. He's on deck. Wainwright misses outside, 2-2. A one-out double by Pedroia, followed by a double by David Ortiz. And the Red Sox jump on top in Game 5. How big will the inning be? Here comes a 2-2. Inside a full count. Adam Wainwright, throughout the course of 2013, even though he was 19-9 and had an overall ERA of under 3, had a 5.92 ERA in the first inning, with a 2.37 ERA from the second inning on.
Cut in half.
Red Sox have a run on the board. Breaking ball strikes out Gomes, 2 out. And Gomes nodding his head, knowing that a 3-2 breaking ball had him frozen. The pitch to strike out Johnny Gomes, and the batter will be Daniel Nava. Nava digs in, hitting 200 in this World Series, 2 for 10. And 330 over his last 32 games dating back into the regular season. Strike 1. Ellsbury went up there and took the first pitch. Pedroia went up there, took the first pitch. David Ortiz went up there and ripped the first pitch down the right field line. Here's an 0-1 pitch, runner at second, 2 out. Ball and a strike.
When you're locked in like David Ortiz is right now, the baseball looks like a cantaloupe coming up there. A cantaloupe with seams. He's not fouling back mistakes either. He's putting them in play hard.
Here comes a 1-1 pitch from Wainwright. Strike 2. It'll be John Lester on the mound in the bottom of the inning. The 29-year-old left-hander who is 3-1 this postseason. Runner at second, 2 out, and the 1-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Wainwright checking back on David Ortiz at second base. Nava waiting for a 2-2 pitch, and Cosma, the shortstop, was bouncing around back there. Wainwright put a halt to all that. Nava trying to add to the Boston lead. Home plate umpire tonight is Bill Miller. And he's wearing short sleeves tonight. That's the kind of night we have here in St. Louis. Jim Joyce at first. John Hirschbeck at second, the crew chief. Mark Wegner at third. Dana DeMuth in left. Paul Emmel in right. And these umpires have really had a good World Series.
Excellent.
Another 2-2 pitch. Got him looking. And struck out the side. Some things we've come to expect from David Ortiz during October. A lot of hugs. He's a hugger. He's the inspirational leader of this Red Sox team. Also come to expect a lot of hits. He's got an RBI double. The Red Sox lead 1-2. Running lineup for the Cardinals brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. Matt Carpenter leads off at second. Shane Robinson is in the number 2 spot. Matt Holliday hits third. The former number 2 hitter Carlos Beltran cleans up. Yadier Molina bats 5th. Alan Craig at first base. And it's David Freese, Pete Kozma, and Adam Wainwright doing the pitching, batting 9th. And here is the left-hander John Lester, who this postseason, look at the numbers, 3-1 with an ERA just over 1.5.
And his best start was game 1, working over 7 innings, giving up no runs to the Cardinals. We were trying to think who in the National League would be comparable to John Lester. And we came up, and I think it's an admirable and a correct comparison. Cliff Lee of the Phillies with that cutter of his, breaking right-handed bats, and the ball moves similarly.
Carpenter first up, took a ball from John Lester, who was a 15-game winner during the regular season, and now a strike. Carpenter's figured it out a bit during this postseason. A .318 hitter during the regular year. Then as the postseason started, was 3 for 30 over the first 8 games. Over the last 7, he's hit 300. Hangs in well against left-handed pitching. The 1-1. Strike 2. We talked about it in Boston when the series began. The Cardinals during the regular season were 20th in the major leagues facing left-handed starters. They were 19-23 in those games. Number 1 against right-handed starters. They're 2-3 this postseason when a lefty starts. The 1-2. Lester throwing hard at 94.
Throwing hard, but that pitch in the middle of the plate. Plate is 17 inches wide. The good pitchers use the outside 1.5 inches and the inside 1.5 inches. Pitches like that, this is the big leagues, and you don't get away with balls up fat part of the plate.
NL's league-leading hitter during the regular season, out in front of it, gets it to Ortiz. To the bag, 1 out. And the batter will be Shane Robinson. Robinson has gone 2 for 5 in this World Series. 5 hits and a home run during this postseason. And he gets the chance to bat in the number 2 spot in front of Matt Holliday. That's down and in, ball 1. Mike Matheny really likes what Robinson brings. He was a big part of the bench this season for St. Louis, and earlier in the series he said if Shane was 6'2", he'd get a lot more attention. He's only 5'9", listed at 5'9". He's a good center fielder, a guy that can run, and he has hit his way into a prominent spot in this World Series Game 5 lineup. The 1-1 pitch. Right back up the middle. Knocked down. Pedroia makes the play. 2 out. Lester took a hit away, and Pedroia got the out.
Pedroia breaking to his right. Now he has to break in. Good play. Had Lester not slowed it down, Pedroia doesn't make that play.
There was another pitch up over the heart of the plate. And Matt Holliday stands in. He has the only Cardinal home run in this World Series. This is a team, the Cardinals, that tied the Red Sox for the most wins this season. As Holliday takes ball 1 up and away, and they scored Only 26% of their runs by the home run ball, which was the lowest in baseball.
That last delivery, that first pitch to Holiday, John Lester slipped with his right foot, almost came out from under him.
Big swing, and they count 1-1. So for a team that doesn't rely on home runs like the Cardinals did not, they have to hit well with runners in scoring position, and they did. Hit .330 as a team, which was the best in baseball and the best since 1974. 2-1. 2-2.
Got a quick trigger, you know?
It's Clay Buchholz, last night's starter. He went 4. No earned runs, 1 run on 3 hits. Here's a 2-2. Full count with Carlos Beltran on deck.
The Red Sox have tried to pitch Matt Holliday inside. When they've gotten it inside but down, he's hit it hard. When they've got it on his hands, they've had good success.
A strikeout ends the inning, and the Cardinals go down 1-2-3. Second inning of Game 5 rolls in. Red Sox coming up, leading 1-0.
Boston Red Sox. Mitad de Isla Aruba, Isla Contenta. Let's go Sox.
He's got, what, 4 different languages?
Yeah.
21 years old from Aruba. And so far in this World Series, 3 out of 13. 1 ball, 1 strike from Adam Wainwright, who gave up back-to-back doubles in the first inning with Pedroia and Ortiz. Then struck out Gomes and Nava. He struck out 3. That's down for ball 2. Stephen Drew on deck, and then David Ross, 6, 7, and 8 hitters. Here's a 2-1 from Wainwright. 2-2. Adam Wainwright was not a part of the World Series win, at least on the field, in 2011. Recovering from Tommy John surgery, he has struck out 4 and has an out to start the second.
Good breaking ball on the 2-2 count. Much better breaking ball than he threw on that 0-2 pitch to Dustin Pedroia, hanging over the middle of the plate.
Wainwright was quoted in the paper today talking about last night's starter Lance Lynn and how he hasn't learned yet how to diffuse the big inning. Wainwright gave up the back-to-back doubles in the first inning, then struck out the next 2, and now with 1 out, here's Drew, who is just 1 for 12, and his only hit was a pop-up against Wainwright in Game 1 that didn't travel 60 feet but dropped in front of Wainwright as he was looking for somebody else to catch it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the 1-1. Inside corner, strike 2. Still 1-2.
Wainwright has really settled in here in the second inning. He's a different pitcher than he was in the first.
He struck out Bogarts. And now strikes out Drew. 2 out. 5 strikeouts for Wainwright.
Good curveball in the right spot.
With 2 out, nobody on, here's David Ross, who made the start last night as manager for the Red Sox. John Farrell tried to get a little life shot into his lineup. He was 0 for 4. But a big part of the win as he was guiding that pitching, pieced together pitching last night for the Red Sox in the 4-2 win. Buchholz, Dubron, Breslow, Tazawa, Lackey, Uehara. Here's a 1-0. 2-0.
He has guided John Lester to 6 of his last 8 starts. He's been Lester's catcher. Got an idea behind the plate. Not that Saltalamacchia doesn't. These things work out. With Lester, more or less, perhaps, telling John Farrell that he'd prefer David Ross. That's always a dicey thing. When one pitcher prefers one catcher over another when you only have 2. Very diplomatic about things.
Here's a 2-1. You have a lot of qualifiers in that.
Yes. Well,
he was speaking as a guy who settled in with a couple of the game's greatest ever. And when a catcher works with a pitcher and it works well, managers don't mess with it. Full count. Ross is batting in the number 8 spot, so John Lester, who was 0 for 6 during interleague play this season, will be the next hitter, either here in the 2nd or leading off the 3rd. It'll be the 3rd. 6 outs, 6 strikeouts. And we go into the bottom of the 2nd inning here in Game 5. Here in St. Louis, this ballpark will be shut down after tonight. And this World Series will have a travel day tomorrow in Game 6 on Wednesday. And a rematch of Waka, the rookie, and Lackey, the vet. Here's Beltran. Strike 1.
John Lackey, a big 3 outs for the Red Sox last night in the 8th inning. First relief appearance since 2004. And a big one.
Here's the 0-1. Off the end of the bat into right center, a base hit. And the Cardinals have their first runner of the night.
Made a comment after Carlos Beltran got a hit the night after he bruised his ribs, saying that when you have a torso injury, you don't try to do too much, because if you swing and miss, your ribs hurt. So therefore, you have better bat control, and you could really see it on that breaking ball away to Beltran. Didn't try to do a lot with it, served it to right center.
Now it's Yadier Molina. 6 out of 16 in this World Series. Molina hitting .291 this postseason. Here's a 1-0. Good pitch. 93. Diving down and into Molina. Strike 1.
The gap in the outfield is in left center, with Ellsbury shaded toward right field. That's really a gap that can be hit by Molina.
Ross sets up inside the 1-1. Chased it upstairs, strike 2.
It's interesting to note that most center fielders, when they play straight away, they don't play directly behind the pitcher, because they can't see the hitter and won't get a good jump if they were right behind the pitcher. So they either play off his left shoulder or off his right shoulder.
Here's a 1-2. Fouled away. 95 from Lester. All the good center fielders will read where a catcher sets up.
Yes.
Jim Edmonds, who played here for years, would get signs from Molina from behind home plate, and he would shade one way or the other to try to get a better jump.
Right.
Here's a 1-2. 2-2. John Lester won the clinching game, Game 4 of the 2007 World Series in Denver. He won Game 1 of this World Series, and he is not allowed to run in 14+ innings during the World Series. Trying to get around a leadoff hit by Beltran. Out of play again. Third pitcher in baseball history to allow no runs in his first 2 World Series starts. Mathewson and Madison Bumgarner. As Beltran takes his lead, we get another 2-2 to Molina. Got him looking. And strikeout number 2, out number 1 here in the second.
The problem for hitters on that cutter is they think it's going to be outside, and it cuts in over the plate. That was a perfect pitch by Lester. Outside to the corner.
When Alan Craig made an appearance last night as a pinch hitter and got a hit in the 9th off Uehara, the way he went down to first base, you thought there was no chance, or at least I didn't think there was any chance he was going to get the start tonight.
Same here.
He couldn't move at all. And when the lineup was first released by Mike Matheny, Matt Adams was in there at first base. As we heard from Ken Rosenthal, Craig did work 4 hours before tonight's game to try and get ready. And here he is playing defensively in a game for the first time since the 4th of September when he sprained his foot. And he hits a double play ball. Out at second, out at first. And a 6-4-3 double play sends Game 5 into the 3rd. John Lester will lead it off. He's through 2 scores. Eastern, 8 Central, right here on Fox. John Lester is going to try and avoid becoming the 7th strikeout victim of Adam Wainwright. And the odds just grew exponentially against that.
Trying to get off to Schneid.
6 outs, all 6 strikeouts. But for the Red Sox, back-to-back doubles by Pedroia and Ortiz in the first. Ball 1. Wainwright, Lester. It's a fair ball, and Molina gets the out. Lester slow out of the box, and Molina takes care of the out, 1 away here in the 3rd. The World Series on Fox is sponsored by the all-new 2014 Chevy Silverado. Here's Jacoby Ellsbury. Jacoby struck out his first time. But then that combination, which has been typically 3-4 in this lineup, tonight the 2nd and 3rd spots, Pedroia and Ortiz went to work. So far, I would bet Wainwright would only want one pitch back, and that would be that 0-2 hanging breaking ball to Pedroia.
Right. Nothing you could do to a red-hot David Ortiz.
Little pop-up. Freeze in foul ground. 2 out.
And you don't look back on a pitch like that cutter inside. Tip your cap to Ortiz, but the 0-2 breaking ball to Pedroia, a real mistake. Here it is right here. Pedroia with the double, and on second base when David Ortiz doubled, the only scoring thus far.
So 2 out, nobody on. And Ortiz waiting on deck. Pedroia trying to keep this inning alive and get Ortiz up with a man on. Pedroia came into this game hitting .357 against Cardinal pitching over 7 games, including interleague play. And he's 1 for 1 tonight. Dustin, one of 4 players left from that championship team in 2007. And tonight's starter Lester, Jacoby Ellsbury, and David Ortiz. Here's a 1-0. Breaking ball down and away. Wainwright an extra look in. He thought it was strike 1. Instead it's ball 2.
John Farrell telling us before the game he had his 2nd consecutive sleepless night last night. 2 great ball games. Dustin Pedroia telling Aaron Andrews after the LCS.
Cosma inning over, yes.
That he hasn't slept in 2 years.
Well, for a guy that's been going that long with no sleep, he's getting along pretty well. Bottom of the 3rd inning rolls in. Red Sox up 1-0. 7, 8, 9 hitters for St. Louis. Freeze, Cosma, and Wainwright against John Lester, who allowed a leadoff hit to Beltran last inning, but got a double play ball. He's only faced 6, and he misses inside to David Freeze, who described his hitting in this World Series as awful. Just awful. He is 1 for 12.
Stranding 13 runners.
He grounds one up the middle to start the inning. A leadoff base hit. We talked to the manager for the Red Sox, John Farrell, during the break. The first question was about the life and it being good on the fastball of John Lester.
Yeah, he does, Joe. You know, even with the 3rd pitch strike to Holiday, you know, he's been able to locate to his arm side. Then he comes back to Yachty with a backdoor cutter. So, as we saw in Game 1, it looks like he's got similar stuff here tonight.
John, we told our audience that you told us that you had your 2nd consecutive sleepless night last night. A little tough with the wings, huh?
Well, I tell you what, you get so geared up, so keyed up for 3 or 4 hours here. It's sometimes a little hard to unwind. But you know what? Wouldn't trade it for anything in the world where we're at right now.
I can't believe you put Ortiz in the lineup tonight. I mean, I thought you were going to get Napoli a start.
That's what kept me up all night.
Okay. Thanks, John.
All right, guys.
He's still having fun, as is Matheny. Here's a bunt by Cosma, and got him at first. Lester flipped it over the head of Cosma to Ortiz for the first out.
What a terrific play by John Lester. Awkwardly barehanding it, and as you said, Joe, flipped it over the head of Cosma, and Lester, thank goodness, he had a high target on which to throw. David Ortiz.
That took a perfect play from John Lester on the bunt by Cosma, and Lester made it. The only place he could go with the baseball.
Unless he hit Cosma with it, and Cosma would have been called out for interference.
Here's Wainwright. Runner at 2nd, 1 out. Wainwright can hit 15 hits during the regular season. And he does not take at bats lightly, especially here. RBI chance. He drove home 6 during the regular season.
To explain that, the reason Cosmo would have been called out had the ball hit him was because he was inside the line. and that's illegal.
Runner at second, one out. Strike two. Let's take another look at that run down the line by Cosba, and this assumes that the umpires would have gone with you. But a good play to get the out. Now the count's 0-2 on Wainwright with Matt Carpenter next. Tying run at second, one out. Lester missing with ball one. Cardinals did not get a leadoff man on base one time last night. They've had the leadoff man on in each of the last two innings. Here's a 1-2. Wainwright strikes out, just tied up by John Lester.
That cutter down and in, and Wainwright lost his balance.
Strikeout number 3 for John Lester, out number 2 in the inning, and now Matt Carpenter, who grounded out to first. His first time up, digs in, runner at second, 2 out. And out to talk is David Ross.
You know, the game 3 ending on obstruction. What is the difference between obstruction and interference? Obstruction is when the defense impedes the runner. Interference is when the batter or runner impedes the fielder.
Matt Carpenter drove home 78 runs during the regular season. Hit leadoff. It's a big total in the National League. He takes down an in ball one. Little different in the American League with the DH. But he is following that pitcher spot. Still knocked home 78. Hit 11 home runs. Tying run at second, 2 out. Lester has struck out 3. Here's a 1-0. A ball and a strike. Here's a 1-1. Inside. Cardinals came into this World Series game 5 having hit just .217 over the first 4 games. They hit .269 as a club, second highest in the National League during the regular season. Trying to figure out the Red Sox pitching. Carpenter trying to figure out John Lester. 2-2.
With 2 strikes on the hitter and 2 outs, if you're on at second base, it makes it easier for a guy who can't run fast to get a good jump. Because the minute you see the hitter swing or offer it the pitch, you take off. That gives you an extra step and a half for a slower guy to score.
David Freese in that category.
Right.
Here's a 2-2. Upstairs, a full count. On deck is Shane Robinson. The first guy to hit in the number 2 spot in the Cardinal lineup this postseason, other than Carlos Beltran. Inside corner to strike him out, and Carpenter spins around to talk to Bill Miller.
The cutter, he thought it was inside. Miller didn't.
And the strikeout is the 4th of the night, to the surprise of Matt Carpenter. That sends us into the 4th inning. Red Sox on top by 1. Been all about the World Series. He's been all over the World Series. David Ortiz, who jumped on the first pitch in his first at bat and hit an RBI double down the right field line, and now he pulled the trigger too soon and it's fouled down the right side. Strike one. Chris Carpenter is on a headset in the dugout watching Adam Wainwright pitch to David Ortiz. There's a 0-1. That's into right field. Another hit. Chris Carpenter, this David Ortiz, is 2 for 2 tonight. 10 hits in 13 at bats in this World Series.
I'll tell you what, he's pretty hot. He's not missing anything either.
Not missing anything and jumping on really whatever. We showed a graphic earlier where it doesn't seem to matter what the pitch is, where the pitch is, what the count is. He's locked in and ready to swing at it.
That he is. And then I'll tell you what, he's not getting out of going out of the strike zone either. So he's always been a tough out. Obviously, he's a great player and a great hitter. And he's showing it right now. And he's not fouling those balls back either, Chris. No, like I said, he's not missing anything, and he's not going out of the strike zone. When those things are happening with a good hitter like him, you're going to be in trouble.
Gomes swings through the pitch. Strike one. How would you gauge Adam Wainwright's mood and his approach going into this game?
Obviously, he's got good stuff. He wanted to get back at these guys. He wanted to get another shot, and he came out and. Of course, David, he hung that pitch to Pedroia, and then David had a good pitch inside down the line, and gave up that one run. But since then, he's been pretty sharp.
Yeah, that's pitch number 51. We were saying of the first 51, it might just be that hanging breaking ball that he would regret to this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I went back in and watched a little bit of the first few innings, and his stuff's sharp. He's got good location, and his breaking ball's sharp. He'll keep us in this ball game. He has a chance.
Here's a pop-up left side, foul ball. It will get out of play for strike two on Johnny Gomes. This series, Chris, has been so crazy, and the way the last two games have ended, I mean, it's left you scratching your head walking out of here. What's the mood of that club after last night?
I'll tell you, obviously a little bit of frustration at first, but things happen. You got to bounce back. Just like the way we played in the first game, we didn't play very well. We came back and played well the next night. We got to come back tonight and play hard. We know this is a big game before we go back to Boston. So these guys are here. They're ready to play, and we'll see what happens. It's going to be a great game.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Johnny Gomes, who was the hitting hero last night. 1 out of 11 in this World Series with that home run. He hits one off the end of the bat into left field here. Holiday to his right has out number 1. Back to first is Ortiz. And before we continue with Chris Carpenter, we'll tell you that the World Series on Fox is sponsored by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you've got to get DirecTV. By the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 and Galaxy Gear. Chris, you were quoted in the paper today after that crazy ending to Game 3 on the obstruction call, and you guys kind of dazed walked into the clubhouse. You said, hey guys, we just won a World Series game. Like, it was that kind of an ending.
It was unbelievable. I'll tell you what, I was actually sitting in the clubhouse or in a room inside the clubhouse watching it unfold, and we win. I didn't even know what happened. I saw the whole play on TV like everybody else. Jimmy pointed and had obstruction, so when they called him safe, I was already sprinting out of the clubhouse. I came up the stairs, didn't even know Allen was hurt, jumping around. Everybody's sitting there looking at me like I was crazy, and I didn't know what was going on. We got back in the clubhouse, and it was very quiet. Hey, it was a big win for us.
First pitch a strike. Daniel Nava at the plate, and a broken bat. Slow one hopper to second, over to first. Got him both. A double play. Chris Carpenter, thanks for the time.
All right, thanks, guys.
This game number 5, goes into the bottom of the 4th. The Cardinals will have Robinson, Holiday, and Beltran down 1. DirecTV. Bottom of the 4th inning as John Lester brings it into Shane Robinson, ball 1. And a hit taken away by a nice effort by Lester. Got a glove on a ball back up the middle. Pedroia completed the play for the out. 1 ball, 1 strike. So 2 out of 6 in this series is Robinson. 2, 3rd and foul. Strike 2. It was on this date 48 years ago that the Gateway Arch was completed back in 1965. It is the tallest man-made monument in the United States. And a great tourist attraction here in St. Louis. Here's a 1-2. Got him looking. And there's that pitch again. Strikeout number 5.
You know, that is the best example of a cutter that Lester can throw. Starting about 9 inches outside and cutting late over the plate. It's hard to read and harder to hit.
It'll bring in Matt Holliday, who struck out his first time up. With 1 out, ball 1. The National League has won the last 3 World Series, including these Cardinals in 2011. Only 1 time has the National League won 4 straight. That was from 1979 through 1982. There's a 1-0. That's hard hit to center. Back at the wall. This game tied. He is middle linebacker strong. And when he gets into a ball, they go a long way. Through the smoke. Strike 1 to Beltran. Holliday has both Cardinal home runs in this World Series. The 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well hit into left center. Back at the wall. It is caught by Gomes and a nice running grab. A step in front of the fence. 2 out.
We saw that great cutter to strike out Shane Robinson, the first hitter of the inning. Watch how little of the plate it got after starting 9 inches outside. This ball didn't cut. The 1 to Matt Holliday. It was a straight fastball. It was supposed to cut in on the hands and didn't. Actually, the same pitch to Carlos Beltran.
Here's Molina. Ball 1. Beltran gave his pitch a ride, caught by Gomes, who is not the fleetest of foot, but he seems to get a good jump, and
he gets it done, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does get it done. He just finds a way, like this Red Sox team has done all year. Here's a 1-0. Strike 1.
Some great examples of that cutter. The 1 to Robinson once again moving, and the 1 to Holliday not moving until he hit it.
The 1-1. Line drive caught by Stephen Drew. And it's another tight World Series game. And we're back where we started. Drew way up to get that. Holliday hit one way into center. 1-1 back after this from your local Fox station. Background that the training staff was looking at the neck and the right side of it. Daniel Nava, after getting that big splintered piece of his back, came up and got him on the right side of his neck. was on the double play ball he hit in the 4th inning, and now with a strike to Bogaerts, here's another good tight breaking ball from Wainwright. Strike 2.
Yeah, that curveball has come around again since that hanger to Pedroia in the 1st inning.
Drew made a nice catch in the bottom of the 4th inning on the line drive hit by Molina. This one is up the middle, and Bogaerts will reach with an infield hit.
2-0-2 pitches. One to Pedroia, the hanging curve, and a fastball that's too good a pitch by Wainwright. You know, pitchers get very impatient with hitters. And one of the catcher's duties is to try to get them again to throw a ball that may look like a strike, but it's out of the strike zone when you're way ahead.
The question for the Red Sox throughout this series and really the last 2 rounds of the playoffs, can they get anything out of the bottom of their lineup?
Yeah, right.
They are waiting for Drew to click in. He is a better hitter than he's shown. And he hits one into deep right center field. Back at the wall, it's Beltran for the first out. Back to first is Bogaerts, 1 away. And that's the hardest hit ball Drew's had in this World Series. But little consolation. He's 1 out of 14 and 4 out of 49 in the postseason.
You can tell the cold weather has come to St. Louis because the ball Beltran hit, it's out of here in the warm days of summer. Or even late August, mid-September. But not tonight, as Stephen Drew proved also.
It's a 1-on, 1-out for David Ross, who is the last strikeout victim for Wainwright. He got the first 6 outs on strikeouts. And he will work to Ross, who hit 4 home runs during the regular season, splitting time with Saltalamacchia. He grounds a base hit through the left side. And it's 2 on with 1 out on a base hit by David Ross, his 2nd hit of this World Series. And did you hear what he just said to Arnie Baylor, the first base coach? He said, "Nice to meet you." That's how frustrated he's been with his hitting. He's great.
He is. Funny sense of humor.
Just a funny guy. And he's on with a base hit, and John Lester steps in.
You know Lester has no bat control. If you're David Freese, you can come in and play the ball to second base and try to double up Lester and prevent the sacrifice. He has 5 in his career.
That's strike 1. Remember, Alan Craig is playing with that bad left foot. He's charging with a pitch, and there's not a lot of mystery right here as to what's about to happen and what the Red Sox want. Do they get it from Lester with runners at first and second?
Yeah, you can come in as far as you want because John Lester is not used to handling the bat. No bat control.
Breaking ball in for a strike. Molina could not catch it, but the Cardinals get the call, and it's 0-2. Two singles in the inning. Bogaerts up the middle. Ross through the left side. Lester trying to push them to second and third. Is it still on with 2 strikes?
Probably.
Showing it. And taking ball 1. Lester's trying to figure out the signs given by Brian Butterfield, the third base coach. I would imagine they're a little slower with a pitcher at the plate.
Sure.
Breaking ball misses low in the count. 2-2.
Normally in a bunting situation, a guy with a good high fastball in the mid-90s like Wainwright tries to get a pitcher in particular to pop it up or bunt through it. He's thrown 2 breaking balls, a little bit of a surprise in a bunting situation.
Fastball, foul ball, struck him out. And strikeout number 7 for Adam Wainwright. And I know we mentioned it last night, but for a team like the Cardinals or any National League team that has the pitcher hitting on a daily basis, it's a big advantage on plays like that where Lester has to try and advance the runners. He looked completely overmatched trying to get a bunt down, and it's 1st and 2nd, 2 out. Back to the DH on Wednesday night. Here's Ellsbury, who is 0 for 2 tonight and who has hit .500 with runners in scoring position this postseason. 5 for 10. Lead runner is Bogarts. Breaking ball, ball 1. Ellsbury, a free agent to be. Waiting for a 1-0 from Wainwright. Strike 1. Tonight, Ellsbury is struck out and fouled out. Up there trying to give Boston a 5th inning Game 5 lead. Breaking ball swung on and missed. The Wainwright curveball, strike 2.
It is rare for pitchers to have as good a curveball as Wainwright has from the stretch. Normally pitchers need that leg kick of a windup, but not Wainwright. Diving out of the strike zone.
That one bounces in 2-2. Wainwright has allowed 5 hits. He has struck out 7. He's walked nobody. Trying to pitch around 2 hits here in the 5th. Inning over. Strikeout number 8. And frustration for Ellsbury as he heads back to grab his glove. Halfway through game number 5. Tied at 1. Silverado strong for all the roads ahead. See the pitching hand of John Lester gripping the right forearm. You know, so much was made, Tim, about the glove, about the substance in his glove.
Yeah.
John Lester knew all eyes would be on him. The Cardinals downplayed it. The Red Sox didn't make a big deal of it. But he talked about how much he sweats. His wife makes fun of him. His teammates make fun of him. And I think you see him as Alan Craig is in the hole 0-2, grinding on that forearm, trying to dry off his pitching hand.
Using a combination of sweat and rosin. Take strong fingers to throw that cutter. You could see just how strong it was, making those finger marks on the right forearm.
Here's the 0-2. Jammed him. Pedroia with all kinds of time. 1 out. And a good pitch from John Lester to start this 5th inning. He gets the ground out from Alan Craig, who's 0 for 2. We look ahead to Wednesday night, Game 6 of this World Series. Our pregame coverage begins on Fox Sports 1 at 7 Eastern with the Fox Sports Live World Series special, followed at 7:30 Eastern here on Fox. And then Game 6 in the matchup of Michael Wacha and John Lackey, a rematch of Game 2. It's at 7 Eastern. It starts on Wednesday on Fox Sports 1. Here's David Freese, singled his first time, was stranded. Ball 1. The 1-0 pitch. Freese took a strike.
National League pitchers try to pitch David Freese inside, robbing him of that power when he extends his arms.
And even though it's right-hander against a left-handed pitcher, it seems like Lester would be a tough matchup for Freese because of the way he can run the ball in on his hand.
Yes. If his cutter looks like the one that he threw to Shane Robinson and not like the one he threw to Matt Holliday. That's the danger in that cutter of pitching inside.
2-2.
I remember overhearing a conversation between Sandy Koufax and Jim Bunning at the Hall of Fame last year. Sandy Koufax summed it up by saying, "Show me a guy who pitches inside and I'll show you a loser."
Here's a 2-2. A strikeout on a pitch up. Strikeout number 6.
Fastball up, gets him. Jim Bunning was saying it was fascinating to hear two Hall of Famers talk like that. Jim Bunning was saying you show guys the fastball inside, you don't try to get them out there. And they're speaking generally and not always, but I'll never forget Sandy Koufax saying, "Show me a guy who pitches inside." He actually said who lives inside, and I'll show you a loser.
2 out, nobody on. The number 8 man, Pete Kozma, who has just 1 hit since the start of the NLCS. Here's Ortiz. That stat will continue as we go into the 6th. The Red Sox will have Pedroia, Ortiz, and Gomes. We're tied at 1.
If the Cardinals and Wainwright can get Pedroia out, then you have a lot to do with David Ortiz. You don't have to give in to him. But if Pedroia gets on, unless he hits an extra base hit, then you've got to pitch to Ortiz. So a key guy right here.
Pedroia with the double. He scored the run back in the first, bounced out to short in the third. Now Dustin goes up there offering at the first pitch, strike 1. He did not get a first pitch fastball. You start waiting around, I would imagine, as a pitcher, for these guys to take a pitch, take 2 pitches, and get into that groove, and that's when Boston changes it up and jumps on your first pitch, which is what Ortiz did back in the first inning for the double. And then tried to do his next time. He eventually singled. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1. 2 balls and a strike from Wainwright. And you have to believe the presence of David Ortiz standing inside the on-deck circle has the attention of Adam Wainwright as well. Ortiz has got the Cardinals' attention and Mike Matheny's attention. Played in last night even when he walked. Here's a 2-1 pitch. 2-2 is Pedroia. And I had a half swing at that pitch. The 2-2. Carpenter, 1 out. And with Ortiz coming to the plate, we send it down to the field and Aaron Andrews.
And Joe, John Farrell told us he hadn't seen David Ortiz in his zone quite like this since he came off the disabled list in April. 7 days after he came off the DL, he was hitting over 500. I talked to Big Papi about it today. He joked with me and said, I was born for this time of year. In fact, before I was born, I was swinging in my mom's belly. I'm chasing right now. I'm not thinking, and I don't want to start. Tim, I knew you'd love that.
Oh, that's great.
Look at the bottom line. He's reached base in 9 consecutive plate appearances to tie a World Series record. Trying to reach here and set a new one. He gets under it. He was ready to launch, and he fouls it back and out of play. He has swung at the first pitch in all 3 at-bats.
Yep. Well, he's in such a zone that even a ball out of the strike zone up, he didn't want to go by.
Look at the leg kick and the way he's going after these pitches. Mike Matheny, the Cardinal manager, said he'd never seen a guy this locked in. And last night pitched around him before the Gomes home run. That breaking ball goes around the strike zone. It's a 1-1 count. Ortiz hit 30 home runs during the regular season. He's got 5 in the postseason. The 1-1. Good pitch there by Wainwright, strike 2.
You know what Wainwright did then? He varied his move. He didn't take his normal windup and threw a curveball out of the strike zone, but he varied things.
Doing it again.
Yeah.
Kind of a stutter step to start his delivery.
That's right. That is not like Adam Wainwright. The last 2 windups are different. Trying to throw Ortiz off. There's that hesitation. Adam doesn't do that normally.
Back to the regular windup. Going to pop up. Is foul and out of play. Adam Wainwright lost his last 2 games. Game 3 at the Dodgers in the NLCS. Game 1 at Fenway. He has not lost 3 straight starts all year, and that's how he's changing it up. Back to the normal delivery on that last pitch.
He's also making Ortiz wait. When he gets the sign, he's delaying going into the windup, almost like a guy from the stretch does with the base runner, making him wait to run. Wainwright's making him wait to hit.
Breaking ball lined into center. Robinson is there. 2 out. Even the outs are hard hit.
And the crowd responding here in St. Louis, probably thinking as a group, finally we got him out. 1-1 pitch is low in the hole. Fouled it back. Hits this one awfully hard. Stays in the ballpark.
First time Ortiz has been retired since the 2nd inning of Game 3. That was his 3rd at bat here in Game 5, and now with the bases empty, 2 out, here's Gomes. Got only 1 hit, but it was huge. Strike 1. Last night, the 6th inning, with 2 on, 2 out. Johnny Gomes, the first to face Seth Maness out of the bullpen, and he hit a home run into the Red Sox pen in left center. Check swing, foul, strike 2. For Johnny Gomes in his postseason career, just 6 hits in 44 at-bats. Ball 1. On deck is Nava. St. Louis will have Wainwright, then Carpenter and Robinson in the bottom of this 6th inning. Molina sets up away. Wainwright hit the glove, but it looked to be outside, and it was. 2-2. Breaking ball struck him out, and that's strikeout number 9 for the 19-game winner, Adam Wainwright, who has never lost in the postseason, pitching here at home. Wainwright will lead it off after snapping off that curveball to end the top of the 6th. We're still tied at 1. We start the bottom of the 6th inning. Wainwright at the plate, strike 1. That cut from Pearl Jam's new album Lightning Bolt, song Yellow Moon. Eddie Vedder's been watching this World Series, I know for a fact. This captivating World Series that, well, tonight order has been restored because of the 2 aces going at it in Wainwright and Lester.
Funny how pitching can do that, restore order.
That's down 2-1. The next to Wainwright. 2-2. Lester has struck out 6. And allowed a run on 3 hits. Two-two pitch. 6 in a row retired by John Lester now. And strikeout number 7. The World Series on Fox is sponsored by Walmart. Save money, live better. Walmart. By Delivery Man, starring Vince Vaughn, in theaters November 22nd. And by Geico, 15 minutes can save you 15% or more on car insurance. Here's Matt Carpenter. We came into this World Series talking about how evenly matched these 2 teams were. Maybe as much as we could remember coming into a World Series. They had the 2 best records. They were put together the same way. They had good bullpens. They had guys who would grind out at bats. Good starting pitching. Carpenter grounds to Ortiz, 2 out. You hear it said a lot in football when close teams meet. Head coaches will tell you, well, this game could come down to turnovers. We've seen so far through 4 games that mistakes have cost the losing team. You think about the mistakes by the Cardinals in game 1 defensively.
Turnover.
The mistakes by the Red Sox in game 2.
Turnover.
The obstruction in game 3. Say it.
Turnover.
Last night the game ended on a pickoff at first base.
Turnover.
By that rookie Colton Wong, who was distraught when the night ended with Beltran at the plate in a 2-run game, and with his run not really meaning anything but a means to an end potentially, he was picked off. Good one here tonight. 1-1 in the 6th. Robinson, 2-0.
Happened so quickly last night. The pickoff of Colton Wong by Koji Uehara. Watch him step off and then throw over. Right foot steps off. Colton Wong was not established. Little extra step. He's out easily at first base to end the game.
Uehara getting his 6th save of this postseason. Robinson checks on Drew. Steven gets the high hop. It's another 1-2-3 inning for John Lester. The Aces going at it tonight. Tied at 1 after 6. Back after this from your local Fox station. On Fox, tonight's aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you've got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. 7th inning rolls in. Game 5 tied at 1. Daniel Nava is first up. Breaking ball in for a strike from Adam Wainwright, who has struck out 9 and allowed a run on 5 hits. Nava struck out, bounced into a double play. Here's the 0-1. Strike 2. Switch hitting right fielder Daniel Nava, the 0-2. It's a guy who played collegiately eventually after 2 years as the team manager. Not the manager of the guy who would do the equipment or clean up and do things what they needed.
That's right. At Santa Clara. We talked about the journey the other night, Joe.
It's unbelievable what this guy
really is. Just staggering.
Here's the 0-2. A strikeout to start the inning. He has persevered. And here tonight, he's the 10th strikeout victim for Adam Wainwright. A game summary for you at 9 o'clock, straight up here in the Midwest. 1-1 game. David Ortiz with an RBI. 14th in his career during the World Series. Matt Holliday's home run tied it. And the two starters have been terrific. The ace of each staff, and they're pitching like it tonight. Bogart, strike 1. Xander with a base hit up the middle his last time up. Struck out on a curveball his first time. One up the middle again. He's 2 out of 3. And Bogarts is on with 1 out here in the 7th.
There's Jose Oquendo, number 11 right there. Good hitting by Bogarts, his 2nd hit of the night. Wainwright could not flag it down. He tried. But the reason we showed Jose Oquendo, he is the one who gives the signs to the left side of the infield primarily. David Freese at third base, whether to guard the line or not, and the shortstop. David Freese telling us Oquendo's the best in the business at positioning infielders.
It's 1 on, 1 out for Stephen Drew. Gave the ball a ride his last time up. Sent Beltran deep and on the track and right. He made the catch. They're swung around a bit to the right on the infield for Drew to pull. Maybe a shade the other way in the outfield. 1-0 pitch. Curveball in for a strike. It's 1-1.
Interesting to note that Alan Craig hits 4th in the bottom of the inning. So this might be the last half inning that Alan Craig plays defense. Cardinals understand that it's risky with his leg. his foot as bad as it is.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 on, 1 out. Wainwright gets a pop up left side, foul ball, and out of play for strike 2. Our producer is Pete Macheska. Our director is Bill Webb. Carol Langley doing her usual great work in the trucks. Same with Aaron Stoikov. Putting together tape pieces that we run, both of them. And we rely heavily on each.
And our guy Wayne Fiddleman back on the job.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Stephen Drew. Ten strikeouts for Wainwright. That missed. 2-2.
You notice how Molina just held the glove there. Held it to give home plate umpire Bill Miller as good a shot over the shoulder as he could.
Bogarts is on, 1 out. A full count.
Even though Stephen Drew has struck out 17 times in the postseason, I think you send the runner right here and take a chance. Against good pitching, you try to do something unusual to beat him because the conventional way is not working for either side.
Number 8 hitter David Ross on deck, and then Lester. Bogarts not running on ball 4, and it's 2 on, 1 out. That's the first walk handed out tonight by either pitcher. Wainwright was ahead on the count and walked Stephen Drew, who's 1 for 14 in this World Series. Now it's David Ross. Ross got the start last night as a switch up, as we said, from manager John Farrell to inject some life, get a jolt in this lineup. He went 0 for 4. He has a hit tonight. Back-to-back starts. Those are infrequent for Ross, who dealt with concussion symptoms during the course of the year. And he bats with 2 on, 1 out. Takes a strike. Carlos Martinez getting loose. Pitch number 100 on the night for Adam Wainwright. Here comes an 0-1. 92 with that 100th pitch. Fastball still with good velocity. 1 ball, 1 strike. St. Louis in the bottom of the inning will have Holiday, Beltran, and Molina. Score for the Red Sox. David Ross, who's at the plate now in the number 8 spot, 1 for 2. Pedroia and Ortiz combined for back-to-back doubles in the first inning for the only run tonight for Boston. The kid Bogarts with 2 hits. That's down into the corner. It is a fair ball. It hops out of play, and the Red Sox take the lead. The bottom of the order getting it done, and David Ross has his second hit of the night, his first RBI of this World Series, and he has put Boston back on top.
Another hanging curveball from Wainwright. He's thrown 2 tonight. 1 to Pedroia, he scored, and now 1 to David Ross, just fair, and he pushes across a run. 2 curves, costly, and now Lester with no bat control. There's the breaking ball. Even though it was down over the middle of the plate, Wainwright would like that one back, of course.
Now the infield comes in. Second and third, 1 out with Lester up. Strike 1. Lester hitless in the big leagues. He's 0 for 2 tonight. 0 for 8 overall this season. And Kevin Segrist, the left-hander, joins Martinez in the bullpen with Jacoby Ellsbury on deck.
What might not be a bad play, I don't think they're going to do it, but is to have Lester a straight bunt. Just bunt as though there were a man on first and try to bunt it toward first baseman Alan Craig.
The lead runner is Drew. A pitch out.
Molina thought the squeeze was on.
Red Sox lead here in the 7th inning. Trying to take game 5 before the series heads back to Fenway. Here comes a 1-1. Back to Wainwright. 2 out. And with runners at second and third, 2 out, we'll see if it's Wainwright or Segrist against Jacoby Ellsbury. Segrist ready to go, but no sign of Matheny yet. Tonight, Ellsbury is 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts against Wainwright. A new baseball for the Cardinal right-hander, and looks like pitch number 106 will be coming from Wainwright here to Ellsbury. No lefty on lefty matchup. I would guess based on the first 3 at bats Ellsbury's had tonight against Wainwright. Strike 1. Talked about guys stepping up for the Red Sox. Now it's seemingly been a different guy every night except for what David Ortiz has done. There's the 0-1. Little fly ball into center. That ball is down for a hit. 1 run scores. Here comes the other runner, Ross. He is out to end the inning. But the Red Sox lead 3-1. Ellsbury delivers the 2-out hit to center. Jammed him, dropped it in front of Shane Robinson.
What a throw by Robinson. Good play, Molina.
But another run for the Red Sox as they lead it 3-1. The real heroes in the park tonight are service members and veterans with ticket compliments of Bank of America. The Busch Stadium crowd is being asked to sing along and wave their flags for the performance of God Bless America. Bank of America will donate $1 on behalf of each person in attendance tonight to military nonprofits up to $1 million. As we play here in the 7th inning in a 3-1 game. Right now we join public address announcer John Hewlett.
Recording artist and member of the Missouri Air National Guard, Tech Sergeant Angie Johnson.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Thanks to the participation of the crowd here tonight in St. Louis and many of you at home. Tonight, we reached the goal of Bank of America donating $1 million to Welcome Back Veterans and Wounded Warrior Project to help our service members and veterans succeed here at home. Two-run game as we go to the bottom of the seventh. Sometimes you got to live Moss. The Red Sox get 2 runs in the top of the 7th inning. And it's Matt Holliday to lead off in the bottom of the 7th, ball 1 outside. Action starts for the Red Sox in their bullpen. John Farrell let John Lester hit in the top of this 7th inning. Go back to the 4th inning, and the only run of the night for St. Louis was a 413-foot home run into center by Holliday. He's 1 for 2. Cardinals have only 3 hits. Big reason why John Farrell let John Lester stay in the ball game. That's strike 2. Tazawa getting loose.
John Lester has featured the cutter outside and inside. He's thrown a few breaking balls, maybe a couple of changeups, but for the most part, it's been cutter, 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 cutter.
Reaching for it. To his right is Ellsbury as Holliday flies out. He's 1 for 3. Let's go back to the tag at the plate that ended the top of this 7th inning.
Now, Yadier Molina may have missed the tag. Ross could have touched home plate. But when a catcher puts his glove in front of home plate to give an umpire such a good view, limbs entangled and all of that, usually you get that call. Watch Molina just put the glove in front of home plate. Not sure whether he touched Ross before he touched home. But when that glove's there, the umpire, rightly so, he's got to figure there's no way for a runner to get through that glove.
Here's Beltran now. It looked like as Beltran took a ball, and now skies one into left field. Out is Drew. The shortstop has it. 2 out. Looked like just like the glove missed the body of David Ross. Ross may have missed the plate with his legs. I don't know if he touched home plate with his hand.
Yeah, hard to tell. But when that glove is there, that is inviting the out call by a catcher, and a good one.
That catcher is at the plate now with 2 out, nobody on in a 2-run game.
Wow.
World Series career, which goes back to Game 4 of 2007. The year that John Lester was coming back from non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Dealt with that between 2006, 2007. He is the front man in this rotation for the Red Sox, and he has pitched like it this postseason.
He's just overpowered the Cardinals in this World Series.
Molina tonight 0 for 2 with a strikeout, a line out. A good leaping grab by Drew. Good breaking ball from Lester. And the count 1-2. Now David Ross walks over halfway out to say something to Lester. 2 out, nobody on. Pitch count is down. Good number as he's trying to finish off the 7th. Here's a 1-2 pitch with 2 out. 2-2. Game 6 on Wednesday night. Michael Wacha, the rookie, who's allowed 3 runs in 27 innings pitched this postseason. One of the world's greatest paper airplanes made it all the way near the pitcher's mound to momentarily break the concentration of John Lester, who goes to pick it up. That thing came out of the upper deck. Here's a 2-2. Molina takes ball 3.
Lester wanting Molina to hit to get on. Alan Craig with good power on deck.
3-1 Red Sox in the 7th. Molina lines one to Pedroia, and the inning is over. Molina lined out to short in the 4th, to second in the 7th. We go to the 8th. Red Sox will bat 8th. Pedroia first up, then Ortiz, then Johnny Gomes against the new pitcher, Carlos Martinez. Strike 1 on Pedroia, 99 from Martinez, who did not pitch in last night's game 4. Pedroia with a double with 1 out in the 1st inning, driven in by Ortiz. He's 1 for 3. Tailing fastball at 100 to make it 0-2. Wainwright, the starter for the Cardinals. 7 innings, 3 runs, 8 hits, 10 strikeouts, 1 walk. The walk was a big one. The only one Wainwright allowed all night. Here's a fly ball into right, easy for Beltran. 1 out. The walk came after a base hit by Bogarts in the 7th. It was to Stephen Drew, who was 1 for 14 in this series. Wainwright was ahead in the count and then lost him. And it was followed by the RBI double by David Ross. And after Lester made it out, a base hit to center by Ellsbury to make it 3-1. John Lester out pitching Wainwright again in game 5 as he did in game 1. First pitch of ball to David Ortiz. Ortiz 2 out of 3. And up on the count here, 2-0. Ten for 14 in this World Series is Ortiz. And the 2-0 pitch. 2-1. Segrist is up again. Mike Matheny allowed to stay with Adam Wainwright last inning with a left-handed hitting Ellsbury coming up. That's a swing and strike 2. And Ellsbury ended Wainwright's night with a base hit to center for an RBI, and Segrist stayed in the bullpen.
I think you zeroed in on that. The reason that Wainwright was left in the game, the previous at-bats by Ellsbury. He did not look good, but he did dump one.
Here is Carpenter to his left. He cannot get the out. And Ortiz has got another hit. He is 11 for 15 in this World Series. He gets an infield hit.
Even an infield hit he gets.
If you want to call that the infield.
A short outfield hit, maybe.
He has an infield hit. He got that last night. And now he gets one here with one out in the 8th. And they're checking the health of David Ortiz.
Well, it might be the time you're going to take him out anyway. Perhaps you get Quentin Berry as a pinch runner. Just thinking. Now you want to take him out. I'm sure John Farrell thinking about that right now anyway. They've got a 2-run lead. Put Berry in there. Berry with the stolen base last night. And then Napoli for defense. Let's see.
He is not leaving.
No.
Still in the game with one out. But a good thought at some point. Although Ortiz, in talking to John Farrell before game 3, he said, you know, he doesn't have the range of Mike Napoli, but he's not a liability over at first base.
Has good hands. And he's not a slow runner either. He's lost a lot of weight.
He's on with one out here in the 8th, and the batter is Johnny Gomes. Strike one. Runner at first, one out, 0-1, the count on Gomes. Strike 2. David Ortiz just became the first Red Sox player all time with back-to-back 3-hit games in the World Series. And we said he's 11 out of 15 in this World Series. Remember, he'd be 12 out of 15 if Beltran didn't rob him of a home run. That was back in game 1. A strikeout for the second out.
Sweeping slider from Martinez. Little Pedro. Kind of unfair to Pedro Martinez in a sense, because he had such an illustrious career. I've always thought a guy who had a career like Pedro Martinez, you don't want to name someone prematurely, but if you're going to name anybody, it could be this guy, Carlos Martinez.
That stays at home plate. I mean, not only do they have the same body type,
yeah,
but even the delivery is similar.
The freedom of movement of the shoulder, which scouts just love.
And a former infielder.
Yeah.
185-pound right-hander, maybe 6 feet, 22 years old, from the Dominican Republic. 1 on, 2 out, a 1-0 pitch. Fly into left. Holiday is there, and we go to the bottom of the 8th inning here in game 5. John Lester has been dominant here tonight. He's allowed only 1 run on 3 hits. Will he go back to work, or is it the bullpen's turn? We'll find out after this. Lester, who went 7 2/3 in game 1, back to work. That game ended 8-1, tighter tonight. Strike 1 on Craig, who's 0 for 2. And that caught Craig near that injured left foot.
Of all places.
Tozawa and Uehara getting loose here in the 8th. Yeah, right on the inside part of that left foot. Here's the 0-1. Lester still throwing hard. 1 ball, 1 strike. Greg's bounced into a double play, grounded out to second. getting the surprise start tonight. Lester had him fooled in the count 1-2.
David Ross doing a very good job behind home plate with pitch selection. Obviously an important part of that tandem pitcher and catcher.
He's done a great job at the plate where he's got 2 hits, an RBI double. Set up that 2-run rally in the 7th. Craig grounds left side. It's Bogarts to his left with time. 1 out. After the game, Fox Sports Live is your home for World Series post-game coverage. Jay and Dan with all the highlights plus live reaction from the ballpark. Jimmy Rollins, A.J. Pierzynski here at Busch Stadium. A complete breakdown of tonight's Seahawks-Rams game, which is just down the street. And a one-on-one with LeBron James. That's all after the game on Fox Sports Live on Fox Sports 1. Here's David Freese. 1 out, nobody on. String 1. Freese with a hit and a strikeout. And he has just 4 singles in 8 games since game 4 of the NLCS. No extra base hits. The 0-1. Michael Wacha gets the ball on Wednesday night at Fenway. He was the winner in game 2. A rematch with John Lackey. Here's a 1-1. Inside corner, strike 2. One out, bases empty. The 1-2 pitch. Hard hit. The first baseman and down the right field line. Freese will try to make it a double, and he does with 1 out. Just fair in between the line and David Ortiz.
That was a good pitch from Lester too. He tried that cutter just over the bag. It may have even landed foul, but that doesn't matter. If it goes over the bag, lands foul, it's a fair ball. Now with the potential tying run at the plate, we'll see what John Farrell's going to do with a loose, warm Koji Uehara in the bullpen.
Well, Pete Kozma is up here. Kozma, who has just 1 hit since the start of the NLCS. And I know it's a left-handed heavy bench with guys like Matt Adams, John Jay, and Daniel Descalso. But there was a decision made with Adams on deck by Mike Matheny to send Kozma to the plate here. 0 for 1 tonight. Ball 1. The only right-hander that the Cardinals have on their bench to start the night is the backup catcher, Tony Cruz. 4 lefties with Adams, Wong, Jay, and Descalso. Flying into left, easy for Gomes. 2 out. A big out picked up by Lester. And now Matt Adams will come off the bench and try and deliver something big here in the 8th. But it does not look like it will be against John Lester.
I think this move is being made, Joe, because Koji Uehara is equally effective against left-handers or right-handers.
Mike Napoli will be a part of the double switch. He'll bat in the number 9 spot. David Ortiz is finished for the night. And the pitcher will bat in the number 3 spot. And John Farrell's going to go to the mound. And like it was in game 1 of this World Series, John Lester brilliant through 7 2/3. Uehara takes over here in the 8th. 1, giving his team a chance to win, goes 7 2/3. Now it's Matt Adams taking a strike from Koji Uehara as Mike Napoli takes over at first base. Tying run at the plate. 6 saves this postseason for the Red Sox closer. The 0-1. Strike 2.
2 splitters. We've talked about how Uehara, his splitters go down, they go away from a left-hander, or they go away from a right-hander. Very difficult to pick up.
Koji brings it. Adams strikes out, and on 3 pitches, game number 5 heads into the 9th. A 3-pitch pinch hitting appearance for Matt Adams. And these Red Sox have seen a lot of this from their closer, Koji Uehara. Number 19 has been great in October for the Red Sox. First pitch from Trevor Rosenthal is upstairs for a ball to Xander Bogaerts. Bogaerts got the rally started in the 7th inning with a 1-out hit up the middle, just past the glove of Adam Wainwright. Then a walk to Stephen Drew, an RBI double by David Ross, and with 2 out, an RBI single by Jacoby Ellsbury, 3-1, and it's still 3-1 as Martinez goes 1 inning, allows 1 hit, struck out 1. Now it's the Cardinal closer trying to keep it a 2-run game as St. Louis and Mike Matheny's team will have the top of the order in the bottom of this 9th inning. Strike 2 on Bogaerts. Red Sox trying to come in here to St. Louis and take 2 of the 3 games before going back to Fenway. Strikeout starts the 9th.
Trevor Rosenthal telling us before the game that when he's going for a strikeout, he uses the right side of the rubber. But for left-handed batters, he'll use the first base side of the rubber. Cheat toward first.
Stephen Drew with an important walk that he drew in the 7th inning. Strike 1.
That's really true for Drew.
He may have only the 1 hit, but after getting behind in the count, he worked a walk out of Adam Wainwright, the only walk of the night. Here's a foul back and out of play, the only walk handed out by either side, and it was big because that guy, David Ross, followed with an RBI double to break the tie. With 1 out, nobody on, the 0-2 from Rosenthal, foul away. Please join Major League Baseball in supporting the men and women of the military who have sacrificed so much to protect our freedom. Log on to welcomebackveterans.org to see how you can help today. Ball 1 low. Bogaerts struck out. Drew has a 2-2 count. Cardinals had the 2nd best home record during the regular season in all of baseball. 2nd to Atlanta. Drew strikes out, 2 gone. Red Sox trying to take 2 of 3 here at Busch Stadium in this World Series. Coming up after the World Series, from the big awards to the big deals, nobody covers the offseason like MLB Network. 3 primetime shows and TV's only morning show dedicated to baseball. It's on MLB Network beginning Monday, November 4th. Here's Ross. Big night for Ross. Strike 1. He caught John Lester, helped guide him through 7 2/3, and has a 2-hit night. And the go-ahead RBI. Rosenthal could strike out the side. Top of the order. Red Sox lead it 3-1. Well, if Koji Uehara is going to get his 7th save of this postseason and his 2nd of this World Series, he's going to have to do it against the top of the Cardinal lineup. Up 3-1, bottom of the 9th inning. Carpenter takes the ball outside. Matt Carpenter. Then a pinch hitter, John Jay, it appears. Then Matt Holliday. Anybody gets on, Carlos Beltran. Uehara struck out the pinch hitter, Matt Adams, to end the 8th. Strike 1. The 1-1. Splitter for ball 2. Strike 2. Strike 3 called. 1 away.
After all those splitters, that fastball looks faster, and Carpenter takes it. That was a 2-seam fastball. Talk about deceptive.
And like John Farrell has told us more than once in this postseason, Koji Uehara has an amazing ability to read a hitter and be 1 pitch ahead of him. Here's John Jay batting for Robinson. Strike 1 outside corner as he starts in with a fastball.
Farrell, a former pitching coach, saying he's the best he's ever seen.
Outside.
1 ball, 1 strike. That's down the left field line. Out of play, strike 2. The Boston Red Sox win here tonight. They'll have a chance to clinch the World Series at home at Fenway Park for the first time since 1918. With 1 out, nobody on, the 1-2 pitch. Just up and away with the fastball. 2-2. Uehara trying to save it for John Lester. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Back-to-back fastballs from the Boston right-hander. St. Louis needs 1 base runner to have a chance. Matt Holliday on deck.
Uehara has no breaking ball. He's thrown it 1 time this year, and when he threw it, he hit Howie Kendrick of the Angels.
Right side, Napoli Tosses to O'Hara for out number 2. Napoli, who did not start, but was inserted for what he can do at first base, makes the play to his right. He fed Koji Uehara perfectly, 2 out. And the Red Sox really believe Napoli, in his first full year at first base, was Gold Glove worthy for the job he did after a lot of work with Brian Butterfield in learning the position. With 2 out, nobody on, here's Matt Holliday, who hit a home run back in the 4th inning for the only St. Louis run tonight. That's into right. Nava, it's got it, and the Red Sox win Game 5. A final of 3-1, and John Lester now in the World Series this year has gone 15 1/3 innings, allowing 1 run on 9 hits, 15 strikeouts, 1 walk. Wainwright gets the loss, and Uehara gets save number 7 this postseason.
What a tall order to come in here and take at least 2 out of 3 from a team that was dominant at home in the National League this year, the St. Louis Cardinals. And the Red Sox taking 2 out of 3 for John Farrell and another save for Koji Uehara.
By getting the win, John Lester joins Babe Ruth as the only left-hander as far as Red Sox starters with 3 World Series wins. Back in his time before going to the Yankees, he was the premier left-hander in the American League and one of the best on the mound in the game. Let's go down to the field and Aaron Andrews.
With a very happy David Ross, who's screaming and then apologizing. Don't worry about it. You and John Lester have become quite the pitching-catching tandem. David, what was working tonight against the Cardinals that was working in Game 1?
Johnny, I mean, he's just a stud, you know. We rely on him. That's why he's the ace of our staff, because he goes out and pitches like that. You know, one pitch, a guy hits for a homer who's a really good player. You know, what a great teammate, and a guy's a battle, and you know, Wainwright's a good pitcher. You know, we had a battle tonight, and guys did a good job of putting some at-bats on him, and we were able to squeak out a couple.
There was a conversation, though, at the bottom of the 7th you were having with John Farrell, with John Lester, about coming back out. What was going on? Yeah, I just thought he had hurt himself a little bit. I know something's uncomfortable, and John went and talked to him. He said he had one more. You know, just that's the kind of teammate he is. You know, he's going to give it all he's got, and I told him, you know, let it all eat. You know, this is it. You know, you got nothing left, and he did a great job. And you know, probably a bad pitch call by me to get up that last hit to Freeze. Freeze did a good job of hitting, but probably should have stayed hard in. But you know, that's neither here nor there. Johnny did a great job. Speaking of a good job hitting, you yourself had a good job tonight. Your first World Series RBI, and facing a pitcher you just said is very tough, in Adam Wainwright. Facing him, 2 strikes, what's going through your mind in that at-bat? How about that, huh? You know, yeah, right? I mean, it's nice to drive in runs. That's really nice. You know, I got to credit the guys in front of me. Bogey did a great job. I mean, that kid's 21 years old, and just having at-bats off a veteran like Wainwright, and then Dirt has a huge at-bat, getting to 3-2 and laying off a tough pitch, and luckily I was able to get something in the zone and just stay fair. I was talking to it really well, and then, you know, Els, you know, that's why we never give up, is guys just keep throwing at bats on guys. Guys are having tough nights, striking out. I was striking out. Guys are, you know, we just keep trying to battle each at bat and not give up, and that's what happens. You know, Els drives in 1, and if I was a little bit faster, he might have drove in 2. All right, we'll see you in Boston on Wednesday night. Thank you. Absolutely. Joe, back over to you. All right, that will be Game 6 on Wednesday night. The final here tonight in Game 5, 3-1. The Red Sox win it and win 2 of 3 here in St. Louis. Let's go down to Ken Rosenthal.
Thanks, Joe. John, we've got a 0.59 ERA in 2 World Series starts. You were in control from the beginning tonight. What made it happen for you out there tonight?
I don't know. I mean, I think the biggest thing is, you know, me and Rossi have had a good rhythm for whatever reason past 3-4 starts together. Early on, we just went back to our game plan from Game 1 and just fell back on that and really tried to make them start swinging the bats early. And we were able to do that and kept the pitch count down and, you know, tried to grind out the later innings there.
Russ hit the double just before you were scheduled to hit in the 7th. That put you ahead in the game. Would you have stayed in the game if the game had remained tied?
I don't know. I mean, I was out there, so I don't know. Obviously, you saw my swings tonight. They're not all that great. So, you know, that's manager John's decision. And if he would have pulled me, then that's kind of the beast of National League Baseball. So, but fortunate for us, Rossi hit that double right there, big double, pushed one across, and then Jake gets a hit after me. So it seems like it's a different guy every night that picks us up, and it's kind of been the theme all year.
John, so much talk about your glove, the green goop, after your last start. How did you react to that, and did it motivate you at all tonight?
I don't think motivate's the right word. I think the biggest thing was, you know, obviously there's a lot of hoopla after my last start, and you know, if you go out tonight and you don't pitch very well, people are going to immediately go back to that. So I think that was probably the biggest thing, is just making sure that I pitched well, threw the ball well, and prove to people that, you know, that was what it was, and I'm a good pitcher. So that's the main thing.
You're a pretty good pitcher. John, thanks a lot. Joe, back to you.
Yeah, he's proven it in this World Series. 15 in the 3rd, 1 run, 9 hits, 15 strikeouts, 1 walk. It was a matchup of the 2 aces, John Lester, Adam Wainwright, and it was Lester ending up on top. He's now 2-0 this World Series, in control from the start, and a final of 3-1. Uehara got the save, and the Red Sox will go home and try and win the World Series.